going to be a stormy day in the nation's midsection, so be sure to grab your umbrellas and your raincoats as you head out this morning. You'll certainly need it. Good morning and welcome to this edition of Weather Center, which is sponsored by Campbell's. I'm Cheryl Lemke.
And I'm Will Annan. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Expect severe weather to accompany some of these storms in the central part of the country right through this afternoon. Elsewhere across the country, well, it's going to be very, very nice in New York City today. Clear and warm conditions, a bit on the breezy side. Washington, D.C. is going to be sunny. You'll enjoy some nice beach weather today in Tampa, Florida. Highs in the mid-80s. That's summer-like. But this is going to be a stormy day in Kansas City, Missouri. In fact, severe weather threatens the state, much of the state, for the upcoming day. I'll show you what's going on right now, and we're looking at a rapidly developing area of low pressure, strong winds from the south and southwest, and that's going to pump that moisture on towards the north across much of the middle part of the country. Already this morning we have seen some active weather from north central Texas, west of Dallas, to around Oklahoma City, and also across Kansas, just to the northwest of Topeka. We're looking at some developing thunderstorms right now, and around Hutchinson, Kansas this morning, we saw some hail and some very gusty winds as well. Not the only spot. Get up towards Minneapolis, St. Paul, we saw some active weather there as well. But this is the big view now. We're going to show you some dry weather, although it's going to be a windy day in the eastern part of the country. A couple of passing showers nearby Cleveland during the early morning hours. There's your batch of thunderstorms moving through northern Minnesota, away from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Looks like some of the worst of the weather for the next several hours may be brewing now across Kansas and the parts of Oklahoma. We're going to take you down there right now and show you what's developing, because we do have a couple of lines of showers and thunderstorms. They don't look all that severe as of right now, but we have seen some mean thunderstorms like these developing right here to the north and northwest of Wichita, Kansas. That dropped some large amounts of hail and some very gusty winds around Hutchinson a couple of hours ago. Now, east of this region, we are still looking at some active weather too, so watch out again around eastern Oklahoma, where a severe thunderstorm watch is currently in effect. Farther to the northeast we go. We're looking at more developing thunderstorms just west and northwest of Topeka. Could be approaching Lincoln, Omaha, and Council Bluffs within the next hour or so. And you can see what's been developing around Minneapolis, St. Paul. Looks like the worst of the weather right now is well to the north of the city. That wasn't the case a little bit ago. Take a look at what was happening earlier this morning right around rush hour when the rain was coming on down. You saw heavy rain and thunderstorms, and that's all it took just to really mess up the rush hour around Minneapolis, St. Paul earlier this morning. But as you can see, the worst of the weather right now is off to your northeast. And there were some delays again around the airport of Minneapolis. We think those have since ended as of the last few minutes. Let's show you what's happening across the Midwest again, looking at some developing showers here. The worst of the weather today may be developing where you see this red shaded area. Little Rock, St. Louis, Kansas City, and Columbia, getting up towards Des Moines, Iowa. Heavy rain may be falling here for during the upcoming day, right through later on this evening. So that's a look at what's happening around the country. Precipitation-wise right now, we'll keep our eyes in eastern Oklahoma for you folks down there for sure during the next several hours. Now for a look at the temperatures around the country, they are mild in most locations. Let's go to Cheryl.
Warm temperatures along the eastern seaboard and across the southeast will no doubt draw many of you outdoors today for your lunch hour. While farther to the west, you'll be trying to stay warm. Checking out the temperatures, things have really warmed up quite a bit over parts of the east, especially around Pittsburgh this morning. Some 10 degrees warmer than what it was yesterday morning at this very same time. The same too can be said for New York City. Some 17 degrees warmer than yesterday. We're seeing lots of 50s and 60s flowing in across the plains, the Mississippi Valley, and points to the east. Still New England, a little bit on the chilly side this morning. And then things have really kind of cooled down, though, for the western part of the country after experiencing record highs earlier this week. Yesterday, though, most of the heat was across the plains and all the way over towards the east coast, much warmer than usual. Not just a little bit above normal, but some 15 to 20, even as much as 25 and 30 degrees warmer than usual for this time of the year. The reason for the warm spell is the winds, and in this case, the winds are coming up from the south, transporting in that warmer air. We see a storm system parked over the western plain states, but high pressure along the eastern seaboard. In between the two, a tight pressure gradient which is a tight pressure differential, and that always translates into some very strong surface winds. And in this case, with the low and the counterclockwise circulation of winds around that, and the high pressure and the clockwise flow around that, in between the two, it helps to promote a southerly wind flow. And again, with the winds coming up from the south, the warmth is also coming up with those winds. And it's really much warmer this morning around Rochester with 66 degrees, Erie 66 as well. Around Boston, maybe just a sweater this morning with a temperature of 56 as you're waiting at the bus stop. But no doubt by this afternoon, you'll be shedding any jacket or sweater, with temperatures warming into the mid-70s for Boston, and the record high for this date may be in jeopardy. Elsewhere, already 61 for New York City and 60 for Philly. What a beautiful day it's going to be across the southeast. Grab a brown bag lunch today. You will seriously be tempted to go outside in the park, maybe around Piedmont Park or around Ansley Park or Chastain Park in Atlanta. A great day to have a sack lunch in the park this afternoon, with highs topping off upper 70s for Atlanta. Meanwhile, very comfortable too from Chicago, Kansas City, and St. Louis, but much cooler behind our system. And now with the forecast, here's Will.
Okay, Cheryl, we're going to watch for our developing storm system over the nation's midsection. That could bring severe weather as far north as Iowa, Minnesota, and also Wisconsin one more time by midday, and certainly by later on this afternoon. Windy but dry weather for the eastern part of the country. Watch out for our California storm. Winter storm warnings are already out now for Salt Lake City, Utah, right through tomorrow. Even though just farther eastward near Denver, you could be looking at temperatures near 60 again tomorrow, with only a slight chance of a shower. So some wild weather developing again across the west.
Some of those showers and thunderstorms could put a damper on your rush hour.
Check it out coming up next on TravelWise. Stay with us.
This program was sponsored by Campbell's. How much butter does it take for mouth-watering mashed potatoes? None. Use Swanson broth instead. Rich, golden Swanson chicken broth adds loads of flavor, and it's 99% fat-free. Put in Swanson broth instead of butter for delicious mashed potatoes that are light, fluffy, and low in fat. And now Swanson broth also comes in a resealable carton, so adding flavor without adding fat's a snap. Recipe after recipe. Swanson broth, when all you want to add is flavor.
Nothing changes faster than the weather, but we're running a close second. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center AM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center AM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Changes faster than the weather, but we're running a close second. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In In the next half hour, Weather Center AM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center AM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Nothing changes faster than the weather, but we're running a close second. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.